Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Well, I'm going to do an actual prepping video today. What I'm going to do is go back through what most people call your get home bag or bug out bag. Now for me, this is not set up for me to bug out, although it could be used for that, the way I set it up. But it's more set up to where my daughter lives about 11 miles from me. I got to go through my local little town. Population about 17,000, and then 17,000 more in the county. So she's closer to the little past halfway through the county. I'm at the north end of the county. So it's about 11 miles. My bag is set up with the intention is, if crap's hit the fan and it's gotten bad and they have not made it here, my bag is set up with the intention of me going to get my daughter, her husband, and my grandboys, and going from there to my other daughter's house, which is another 10 miles or so, getting that daughter, her husband, and those 3 grandkids, a boy and 2 girls. That's what I set my bag up for. If I have to bug out with it, then there's some food in there that I can get by for several days if I have to. But I'm planning on not putting as much in there as I had. So I emptied the entire bag. I know y'all can't see it. It's set up here on the table. There's a water bottle. It's set up all spread out on this table. I'm going to grab this stuff and show you what I put in my get home bag and explain why I put that in my get home bag. So it's sitting on the floor here empty. So the first thing, you should have this in your get home bag or your bug out bag, is an extra set of clothes. Now I'm not going to unfold them, but I've got a set of camo coveralls here that will keep me pretty doggone warm. And I've got an extra shirt, pants, underclothes, and 2 pair of socks. It's important to keep your feet dry. So that's the first thing that goes in my bag. It goes in the very bottom because it's so big and bulky. I put it in the very bottom of the bag, and then I start putting stuff on top of that. Now my get home bag is a large backpack bag, and I do not pack this thing completely full. If I had a few other things that I plan on getting down the road, they're bulkier, but they're also lightweight, I could put them in this bag. But that's not my primary goal. My primary goal is to have what I need to go get my kids and my grandkids. If they need food, then I'm going to have some food they can eat, and get back to my homestead, which is where my entire group plans on bugging out to. So I've got a few things in here that I'm not, or had a few things in here that I'm not going to put back in there, but I'm going to show you what I'm putting in there. One, I've got a stainless steel water bottle. Now, this thing has, and I've got an extra one here, little rubber, whatever you call this thing, seal for the lid, so it doesn't leak. But when you take the top off, this ain't gonna be a 5-minute video, y'all. You can replace the seal that's in this cap, but you can boil it without the cap on so you don't mess up the seal. So it's got fresh, clean water in it. I tighten it down pretty good, and it goes in one of the side pouches. Staying hydrated is important, especially when, remember, I'm planning on getting my kids and grandkids. Maybe they haven't had something to drink for a day or two before I could get there. So I'm going to have some water with me. I've got that stainless steel canteen, or whatever you want to call it, and I've also keep an empty drink 20-ounce bottle. Now there's a reason I keep this. I'm going to show you what goes with this empty bottle. Mini Sawyer water filter. I also have the tabs that can make water safe to drink, but it makes it nasty. And I've got the tablets that's supposed to make it taste better. But I've got the Mini Sawyer, and this is not a cheap knockoff. Actually get the Sawyer brand water filter with the bag and all that stuff for filtering your water. This bottle will screw on to this filter. So if I need to use that bottle to get water from a stream or a creek or pond or whatever, I can connect it to this filter and drink straight through the filter so it cleans the water. Alright? So that's why I keep the 20-ounce bottle. It fits this filter, and that filter will do up to 100,000 gallons. So Survival Dispatch, guys, I follow them. Survival Dispatch News, especially Chris Haven over there. He's very genuine and a good guy, in my opinion. And he brags on Sawyer, and he's got good reasons. This is the best water filter out there you're going to get, period. These things filter down to about 1 micron and stop a lot of bacteria and all that crap that comes in that could make you sick. These things aren't that expensive. I think you can get them for about 17 to 20 bucks. And for the amount of water you can get through there, it's a no-brainer to have it in your go bag or in your get home bag, whatever it is. For me, it's a go bag. So that goes in the other side, on the side pouch of my backpack. Now I put the water in first because it's heavier, and then I'm going to put the filter and the bag and all that stuff that comes with it in there with it. So now I've got a 20-ounce bottle that I can start off with if they're thirsty, and then I've got the filter to where we can filter water and refill that bottle if necessary. Using the bag, you get the dirty water in the bag, you filter it through the filter and fill up the bottle. So you can get everybody hydrated, and then you can refill it again and take another full bottle with you, plus my stainless steel canteen, where if I needed to boil water for whatever reason, I could. That's not what I want to do. I get comments every time I make one of these videos where, well, your thing is dirty, clean, you haven't used it. Guys, why would I want to go out there and boil water when I've got filtered water here at my house? That's just crazy. I'm not going to get out there and just build a fire and boil some water to show you, hey, I got smoke marks on my canteen. That's crazy. There's no need for that. Everybody knows how to boil water. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're a liberal. But either way, boiling water is not complicated. I've got what I need to get it done. So I'm going to put this seal back in the front of my bag. I got a little Ziploc in the very inside at the top. Since it's lightweight, that's where I keep it. Alright, another thing I keep in that same spot is Mylar blankets. Because if it's wintertime and we're going into winter, so I typically do these videos when we're changing seasons, I keep at least 3 Mylar blankets with me. And like a lot of other folks say, they're pretty much one-time use. If you rip them, they shred. They don't hold up a lot, but they will warm you up if you wrap up in them. So if I need to, wrap my grandkids in one to keep them from getting hypothermia or whatever, then I've got 3 of them. If you do it right, you can build a fire and put those things up around the fire, not touching it. It'll melt it in an instant. It'll reflect a lot of that heat back, and you'll be a lot warmer if you had to spend the night out in the woods. So that's a good thing to have. Now, I've always been a clean freak. I take at least a shower a day. Sometimes, especially in the summer and all, I'll take 2. I've been known to take 3 once in a while. But I keep a little travel-sized bottle of shampoo in there. You can bathe with the shampoo and wash your hair. Something that I've always kept, I'm not putting that back in my bag. Okay? I don't have to be the cleanest person in the world to go get my kids and grandkids. So, that's done. And I also keep some unscented plastic garbage bags. These are the large bags. You can make a poncho out of them to put a hole in it, 2 holes for the arms, and put it over a kid to help keep them dry. You can use them to carry water. A lot of things can be used. You can use this for. So I put that in there as well. And now I'm going to zip that closed. That little compartment's done. And I got a larger compartment up under it. I try to do heavier stuff as I go down the bag toward the bottom. So the next thing I've got in there is paracord. This is 550 paracord. It's rated for 550 pounds. It's military style stuff. It's really, really strong. And if you need thread or whatever, you can cut a section of this, open it up, and separate all the fibers. And if you needed to use it for fishing line or for a suture, it can be done. But I keep several hundred feet of that in my bag because I might need it. Remember, I'm going to get grandkids anywhere from 4 to 10 years old. All right, I live in South Georgia. The bugs are bad, mosquitoes and all that stuff. I do keep some bug spray with me, and I'm going to leave that in my bag because the last thing you need is whining, complaining kids. That will help keep them happy. And I've got a little net that you can put over your face if you need to try to keep them off of yourself. So I put that in there with that, and I'm going to zip that compartment closed. And then there's a compartment at the very bottom of the front. That's where I'm going to keep a SAM split. So if somebody twists an ankle, breaks something, whatever, you can unfold this thing, put it around them, mold it, and it'll keep that arm or leg or ankle, whatever, stationary until you can get them to some medical help. So I keep one of those in there, and I'm going to put the bug spray down in that compartment as well. Alright, so the front inside of my backpack, of my get home or bug out bag, is done. I've got the clothes in the main compartment down at the bottom. So the next thing I'm going to do, I've got some compartments in the back of the main compartment. So there's 2 or 3 more compartments in there that I usually put stuff in. Now, I try not to pack anything hard, pokey, or whatever anywhere toward that end, because that's what's up against your back. It's got a rigid back plate in there, so things won't actually poke you, but I don't want anything there that could make my backpack uncomfortable on me, so I pack it with that in mind. So I've got some net gloves. If I need to be more hidden, that'll help, and without getting me bundled up. My coveralls are very lightweight, and you know, that'll keep me blending in with the weeds and stuff if I need to stay out of sight. So those go in the top of the compartment inside, and I keep a roll of toilet tissue, and some sanitizer and some Kleenexes, because if you're moving, you still got to go sometimes. So I try to keep some of that, and it's lightweight. It goes in the top. Another thing I keep on hand, and this is going to go in the back bottom, is old Boy Scout cookware set. It's got the little pot inside with the lid. It's, you know, you can use for a cup. It's got the little frying pan. You can use the lid as a plate or whatever. These things are lightweight. They're very, very inexpensive. And if you need to cook and eat, heat up your food, they come in handy. So I'm not spending a ton of money on high dollar stuff. That's been proven to work. All of us older guys used them in the Boy Scouts when we were little. They work. Are they the best thing in the world? No, but they get the job done. Next thing I'm going to put in that compartment is I've got some extra foil tape and a lot of extra foil, because you can make a container out of foil if you have to. Wrap a squirrel, a rabbit, whatever, and cook it if you need to. So I keep a lot of extra foil in there. It's very lightweight, and it goes in with the food. Now this one's not a zipper, it's a drawstring. So I pull it tight and that's all closed up in there. Another thing I keep is a fire starter bag. So I've got fire starter things in here that are easy to light. I've got matches, I've got lighters, I've got cotton balls, I've got a medicine bottle full of Vaseline because that's flammable. It helps you get your cotton balls lit and it'll hold the flame for about 5 minutes, sometimes more, depending on how much Vaseline you put in it. So I've got lots of extra matches, strike anywhere matches, and the regular. You need a fire starter kit in your bag. So that's going in there on top of the clothes. It's going to lay down right on top. Another thing I keep, I'm going to slide back in that other compartment, is one of these looks like a multi-tool, but it's actually a fork, a knife, a can opener, all that stuff. Now this is an Ozark Trail. I don't spend a bunch of money, y'all, but the two halves separate, so I can use a fork, I can use a spoon, and they go back together. When you close it up, it locks the two halves together, so it's got what you need in there. You could open this up right here. It's got a little knife. Now, is it the best knife in the world? No, but it'll cut your food up. So that's going in with the cookware set. All right, next thing, Now, I always get comments on this part. I keep some zip ties because if you needed to make shelter, zip ties are just basically keeps you from cutting your twine up or your rope or whatever and hanging your tarp or your Mylar blanket or whatever you're using for a shelter. Zip ties are cheap, lightweight, and it keeps me from destroying my rope, tying each corner off and all that good stuff. So I keep a little Ziploc bag of those in there. And the other thing that everybody always comments on is I've got this 1.5-inch wide roll of Velcro. Now, a lot of people keep duct tape in their go bag, bug out bag, whatever it is. I don't keep duct tape. One is they don't make it like they used to, and there's very little on the roll. It takes up a lot of space. This Velcro is double-sided, so it will fold back on itself and hold its shape. So if I needed to wrap around and hold something still, it's reusable. I can take it, and you can find this on Amazon or eBay or any of your places you buy stuff online. I keep that roll in there. I've used some of it over the years. My tourniquet, on my plate carrier is held by 2 pieces of Velcro. I cut one of these the length I needed, split it in half. Then I wrapped some black duct tape around the end as a handle, and it holds my tourniquet in place. And pat, pat, tourniquet's off, and that's reusable. So I keep that there. So another thing to go along with the fire starter is this is my favorite hand way of cutting firewood. It's basically a chainsaw blade with straps on each end. My son-in-law and I have both tested this thing many times over the years. I can cut through a limb the size of my arm in about 10 to 15 seconds with this. So if I need to cut some firewood for shelter building or for building a fire, whatever, I've got this in my bag for that reason. So get it rolled back up and get it put back in the container. Now that's a whole different story. But they're very lightweight. You can get them off of Amazon. You can get them off Temu. Guys, everything's made overseas anyway. But it's very, very good to have. And like I said, I've used it enough to know that hand chainsaw works really, really well. So I usually put this in with my fire starter area. So if I'm going to get my materials together to build a fire, you're going to start off with the little teeny stuff, dried grasses and stuff if you can, the teeny twigs and all that, and then you're going to go to the finger size stuff, then you're going to go to thumb size stuff, then you're going to go to a little bit bigger. Once you get fire going, you're going to need logs to put on that fire to keep it going all night. That's what that saw's for. So I also keep a Lensatic military style compass in my bag because sometimes you just need to find your way out of an area. All right. So I also keep a few of the old style wooden clothespins in here because I can take that and clip it over a branch, over a line, a string, rope, whatever, the Mylar blanket or with a tarp or whatever, and it'll hold it there for shelter, for shade, rain, you know, whatever. These things are lightweight and they're easy to carry, so why not? I gotta remember where I put these. All right, the next thing I'm gonna cover is I've done videos on how to make an EMP proof container. This is a yellow padded manila envelope, the one that's got the bubbles in it, you know. I completely cover it with foil tape, put my radio in here, the battery, antenna, all that stuff goes in this envelope, and I seal it up. It's got some extra tape in there to reseal it if I have to open it and put it back in. I can seal it back up. This goes in my get home bag as well, or my bug out bag. It's got another compartment on the front. That's where I normally put this one. Zip it up. So if I need to get the communications, it's on the front of my pack. It's easy for me to get to. Alright. So the next thing, and I don't have a compartment for it. It sits on top of the stuff that's in the main part of the bag. One is candy. Peppermint, cinnamon, whatever. Keeps you from getting too dry in the mouth and all that stuff, but it also helps keep your blood sugar up if you need to. So I like to keep some of that with me. I had 4 MREs in my bag. I'm not putting 4 in there. I'm going to put 2, but I'm going to try to lighten this bag a little bit. So let me see which ones they are. So I've got 2 of the chicken noodles and vegetables and sauce, and a spaghetti with beef and sauce, and then a Southwestern style beef and black beans. So that's probably not going to be my favorite. So I'm gonna leave that one off, and I'm gonna leave one of the chicken noodles off. So I've got 2 different things. If my grandkids are hungry, I'll be able to feed them. I'm gonna put those in there. Now, would that take care of them? Yes, it would. So I'm gonna zip this up so it'll start staying together. Alright, I'm going to leave the top open for now. Another thing I keep in there food-wise, I buy the bulk packs of food calorie bars. These are cinnamon because I like cinnamon, and they're about 410 calories each. So there's something you can eat on the go. I vacuum seal them and put those in my bag. Also, something else that I like to munch on is salted peanuts. Like honey roasted peanuts, and I vacuum seal those because it's a high protein item and it's very lightweight. Second thing I do is I vacuum seal some saltine crackers in the individual packs. And crackers, y'all know, weigh nothing, but it sure makes that meal better if you've got to eat that MRE. So I throw a bunch of those on top. If I lose them, I lose them. No big deal. So now, my bug out bag or get home bag or whatever you want to call your bag, mine's ready, it's packed. So next thing to do is I've got it set up where it actually fits me. So I can start buckling all the flaps together. And there's a lot of room left in this big bag. I understand that, but I'd rather there be room left than me need to put something in there and there's not any room. So I haven't maxed this bag out at all. There's a lot of room left in this bag, but I don't want to tote it. So I'm gonna pause it and go weigh this bag and let y'all know what it weighs. Okay guys, so what I took out was a couple ounces of shampoo that I don't need in there. I'm not gonna be taking a bath in the stream. All right, I took out a couple of MREs. That bag all by itself weighs 23 pounds. That's a lightweight bag. So if you want to keep your bag around 30% of your body weight, I am 181 pounds. Fully dressed with my keys in my pocket, my wallet, you know, boots, everything. I'm 191. So break this down to 25%, right? 25% of 100 is 25 pounds. If you weigh 200 pounds, you should be able to tote 50 pounds with no problem. But how many of you have done that and walked 15 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, or 50 miles if it takes you several weeks to get home? The lighter you make your bag, the better off you're going to be as far as being able to move. Foot care is going to be very, very important. Dry socks, extra socks. If you have to change your socks because your feet get wet, be able to stop, build a fire, and dry your other socks out. It's important to keep your feet healthy if you've got to move. But that bag is ready for me to go. I do not have room in my work truck to keep that bag. If I had an extended cab truck for work or something, yes, I'd keep one in there. I used to. But in the single cab that I drive now, I don't have room for it. And I'm not going to leave it in the back of my truck. First of all, somebody would probably steal it eventually. And it'd get rained on and all that. It's water resistant. I buy the siliconized waterproofing spray. Comes in a regular little can off of Amazon. And I spray my entire bag down with that. That helps water run off. Even though they say it's water resistant, now it's more water resistant when it's been sprayed down with that stuff. So just kind of think outside the box that way. Alright, I know this is a longer video and I apologize for that, but guys, I don't cut and hide stuff from y'all. You saw me packing that backpack, that go bag, that bug out bag. With those two MREs, that'd easily be 2 meals out of each bag for a person, plus the crackers, plus the peanuts, plus the calorie bars. I could go a couple of 3 days with what I've got in that bag if I had to. And I've got enough ammunition and firearms with me that I can also hunt and get some wild game if I need to do that. So I'm going to bring up one more topic and I'm going to get off here because I know the video is longer than I'd like it to be. But guys, when you eat out and get a to-go meal somewhere, they give you little packets of jelly, they give you little packets of ketchup, mayo, all that stuff. Most of the ones that they give out do not require refrigeration. You can get you a Ziploc bag and start saving those things. If you've got to eat squirrel for supper, it's a whole lot better with a little ketchup, just saying. Or barbecue sauce or hot sauce, whatever it is. It's a whole lot more palatable when you've got some seasoning to go on there. Salt and pepper packets, all that can go in a Ziploc bag and put it in. It doesn't weigh hardly anything, and it makes wild game more palatable for you if that's the way you've got to eat. So just an idea. Think outside the box and make the bag work for you, whether it's a get-home bag or a bug-out bag. A bug-out bag typically, to me, has more stuff in it because you're leaving home. So you've got all the access to everything you have. Sorry, my nose is itching. And can get that thing packed. And if you need to lose weight along the way, then you do so. But bug out bag typically weighs more than a get home bag. Get home bag is going to be minimal, the absolute least you can get by with to be able to travel for whatever the distance is you're planning on having to go. For me, it's typically within 15 miles. There's a lot of times I'm much further than that, but there's also a lot of times I'm right here close to my house. So build it the way you want to. Let me know if you've got any good ideas that I can change mine up. And I'd love to have a conversation with you in the comment section. If you have not subscribed or followed my channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Share it if you don't mind, and I appreciate y'all watching. Remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.